Hi guys, it's Usernamekate and welcome back to my channel. Today we have a walk round on Suzuki's Hayabusa. Now, oh my word, she is a very, very chunky lady, that's for sure. But as you guys know, walk around video, we'll be talking about the specs of this bike, we'll be talking about the seat height, the weight, all that good stuff. We've got plenty riding videos to come on this bike, so if that's what you're interested in, they're going to be coming at a later date. But yeah, if you want to know about this bike, stick around and stay tuned. Okay guys, well, here she is, after a 3-year break. So, Suzuki stopped making the Hayabusa in 2018. Now, Suzuki really didn't want to stop the production of the Hayabusa, but it just didn't meet the emissions standards that it was required to. So, in 2021, it came back revitalised with a whole new look, with sharper lines and a whole host of electronics. Firstly, let's touch on price of this bike. You can pick one of these up brand new for £16,699. This bike is available in 3 colours. I'm going to pop pictures up of the colours as I say them. So we have the glass sparkle black and the candy burnt gold. We have a pearl brilliant white and matte stellar blue. And then of course we have this beauty, which is metallic matte sword silver and candy daring red. So what are we working with in terms of engine? Well, you can't see much of it for this massive piece of fairing, but we do have a 1340cc inline 4. Now, in order to get it through emissions, the power is down on the earlier generation of Hayabusa. That Hayabusa produced 195 brake horsepower, and this one produces a smidge under 188. I believe it's 187.75, if we're being super picky and precise. The torque figures on this, 150 newton meters of torque. Again, I believe the torque figure is down, but what Suzuki do boast is that they have improved the mid-range on this bike. Improve the mid-range on the bike. Let's talk about the suspension. If we pan round, we've got the KYB fully adjustable upside down forks. And then if we look to the rear, we've got a fully adjustable KYB shock. It is a link type suspension. And then when it comes to stopping power, again, we've got twin discs, and we have a Brembo Stylema caliper, again 4-pot radially mounted. And then if we look at the rear brake, we've got a single disc with a Nissin 1-pot caliper. So another thing to note about the brakes, they are combined brakes. So if you use the rear in isolation, it's just going to use the rear. If you use the front brake, it is going to apply a little bit of back for you. Now, Suzuki said that this isn't sort of very intrusive, but it just helps with the stability under braking. Right, so let's take a look at the dash on this bike. So the older generation Hayabusa was all analog dash, everything was analog on it. And I'm pretty sure you had like a bit of a basic LCD dash in the centre. But they have also brought it up to the current times with a nice little TFT dash in the middle, which I do think complements the analog dash very well. So what can we see here? We've got fuel there. We've got engine temp there. Around here you've got your revs, here you've got your miles an hour. This bike is electronically restricted to 186 miles an hour. So unfortunately on this generation of Hayabusa, you're not going to be able to get into that 200 mile an hour club. I have to say, I took an older Hayabusa on track And I was looking forward to trying hitting around there, but the track was only so long and I got 160 out of it, which wasn't bad going. Kind of felt my fingertips peeling back with the wind, which was quite an experience. But yes, I digress. 2 awesome days on the track. So as mentioned, here we have the time at the top. We have the temperature outside. I swear that is a lie. I know it's supposed to be hot today, but it just felt cold this morning. Here you've got your Suzuki Dynamic mode system settings. So let's talk about these modes. We have A, we have B, we have C. So they kind of work in the usual Suzuki manner. A is the Larry mode, B is the standard kind of mode, and then C is kind of almost like a rain mode. But then you have user modes as well. So as you can see, when it's in mode A, you've got the sort of power mode at 1, which is like full power. And then you've got the traction control setting on level 1. So it's really unintrusive, if that makes sense. At the bottom here, so it shows you your power mode, your traction control. Then you've got LF, which is basically wheelie control. I think the L stands for like lift. But yeah, the lower the number, the less intrusive on that. And then you've got EB for engine braking. Then if we change the mode from A to B, just have a look at the power mode and the traction control, the lift and the engine braking. As you can see, all the figures change. So in B, you've kind of got a lesser power mode, you've got more traction control, you've got a lot more sort of anti-wheelie applied, so it's to just stop you going a little bit crazy. And then you've got the engine braking, which is still in the off position. You've also got quick shifter. You've got 2 levels of quick shifter, so you can have it really, really responsive at the gentlest of touch, or you can have it so you've really got to whack it up to shift through that box. Then if we go to C, you can see that the power mode is on 3. The lower the power mode, the higher, if that makes sense. So 3 is a bit of a softer power mode. 10 is the highest level of traction control you can have, so perfect for riding in the rain. You're not going to be lifting that front wheel with the lift control on 10. Again, engine braking is off, and the quick shifter mode is set on 2. And then if we press mode again, the bottom will flash. And from here you can see your odometer, you can see your fuel range, you can see your MPG, your battery voltage, your trip, and basically all that good stuff. So I'm going to run this on mode B for now, just because I don't want the power to be absolutely crazy and I'd like a bit of traction control, since I'm running a fresh rear. Now, I know you're going to ask me, why have you got a fresh rear on there after 796? Surely it doesn't chew up rubber that crazy. And this bike was actually on the fleet on one of the booster days at Elvington. So as you can imagine, there was a lot of straight line, you know, launches and stuff like that. So it just squared off a little bit, so they put a freshie on for me. Moving down, you've got a tank size of 20 litres. You have a seat height of 800mm, which is a proper nice seat height, I think. And then you've got the weight. The weight of this bike, which is 264 kilograms wet. So it's quite a lump. So Suzuki have put a few little accessories on this, which are quite nice. So you don't normally, as standard, get these lovely Suzuki billet levers that say Hayabusa. I don't know if you guys can see that. These are an extra, this carbon effect on the mirrors. Another extra that they put on, just this little tank pad, just to stop it getting scratched. And this rather cool futuristic seat cowl. They did ask me if I wanted a pillion seat, but I just thought that the cowl just looks so interesting. that I didn't want to say no to it. And then of course you've got this two-toned colour-coded seat as well. Right, so one of the things that I need to talk about on this bike, the electronic suite. It is absolutely awesome, which in effect means it has things like the lean sensitive ABS, and it's got the cornering traction control. The bike has a few other tasty features like the cruise control. The bike has 3 levels of launch control as well, which is just crazy. And it comes with a quick shifter and auto blipper as standard. And then because the bike is such a whopper, it does come with hill hold as well. And then as standard, it's got the quick start fire up button, and it's got the low rev assist, which a lot of the Suzukis have, which is a really nice touch. Right guys, so we're going to move on to the height of this bike. Seat height, as mentioned, 800mm. Now when I see like anything that's going like close to the 700mm mark, I know it's quite a low bike, which does instantly make me think, you know, because it is so big and it is so weighty, 264 kilograms basically weighs the amount of a small planet. So I can kind of use all the help that I can get with the seat height. So if I just sit on this, the seat is relatively wide, quite a chunky seat, but I've got the balls of my feet down. But even though I'm not completely flat-footed, when in the centre of the seat, it still feels like super low to the ground. Like there's a lot of it, it's a big old mass, but it does feel quite low and squat. So if I'm to stop at lights as I normally would, yeah, I definitely have like a kink in my knee. I hope that you guys can see that. So for reference, a 5'4" individual, 29-inch inseam, and the height of the Hayabusa is so manageable. Like you feel in control and not like you're on your tiptoes and scared for your life. Just going to fire it up for you guys so you can hear it. Quick start. So it just sounds like your traditional inline 4. I'm sure when I do the riding videos, we'll be able to hear it when it's, you know, under load a little bit and screeching, which I can't wait for. Riding position, let's talk about that. So you are still a little bit forward, as you can probably see. You've got quite, you know, rear setty foot pegs. You do feel like your legs are quite back. But I believe that the bars have come forward something like 12mm, and that does just help you not be so stretched. Right, so now we're going to have a go at pushing this thing around. Now I pushed it out of my garage this morning and I thought, whew, this does feel like the heaviest bike that I've pushed. And it's really strange because obviously like I've ridden the Rocket 3 and pushed that in and out of the garage, which actually weighs a fair bit more than this. But just for pushing around, I don't know whether it's the weight distribution or whatnot, but yeah, it feels kind of heavy to me. So I'll get it off the stand, stand up. Yeah, it does feel like a weight. Like it is a bit scary. Not scary, but I wouldn't like to do this in front of a lot of people at a big busy bike meet when they're all eyes are on you. Do you know what I mean? It is a little bit on the heavy side to push around, granted. Right, now let's try and get it back in shot. Come on, Kate, you've had your spinach. It's like I say, it's manageable and I give anything a go and try and push it round. But I feel like I definitely have to kind of watch where I park with this so that I could make it easy for me to get out of certain situations. But it does have hill hold, so which is good, and a low seat height, so that always helps. Okay guys, so we're at the part of the walk around video where I give you guys an indication of how much it would cost to insure me on this big Bertha. Now, if you guys have watched my Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RR walk around video, I gave a brief explanation there about how insurers categorise certain bikes. So given the fact that the Speed Triple 1200 RR sports bike was, you know, quite expensive, I kind of, you know, gathered that this was going to cost a similar amount. So I spoke to Nick at BikeShare. Now, for you guys that don't know, BikeShare is my insurance sponsor. They sponsor my whole channel and make it possible for me to bring you, you know, not just the walk rounds, but the riding videos, the adventures and stuff like that. So I'm forever grateful to those guys. They are an insurance broker who basically scout around for the best price for you. They're 5-star rated. And I have a link in my video description in case you guys are in the market for insurance. Now, there is a number there. If you give the guys a call, that is ideally where you'll get the best price. And if you quote Usernamekate, you might get a cheeky bit of discount. Now, I'm not on a referral there or anything like that, so I don't benefit specifically if you take out a policy. However, I just like to see people get discounts. It makes me feel good inside my soul. So, going back to Nick. I asked him for a quote based on me being 30 years old, a lady, living in Bolton and having the maximum no claims discount possible. So bear in mind that the quote that he gave me does include £100,000 worth of legal fee cover, just in case you find yourself in that sticky situation where you need it. But he came back to me with the price of a £5 shy of £1,500. So that's fully comprehensive for a year. So I just know that if I was committed to this sort of CC of sports bike, yeah, it's going to cost me. It's just the way insurance works. But yeah, it's definitely on the high scale of some of the quotes that I've been given. But also it is an iconic 1300cc, close to 190 brake horsepower, muscle brute. What can you do? Right guys, I really hope that you've enjoyed this walk around video. I'm looking forward to riding this, to be honest. I do absolutely stick out like a sore thumb when I'm on this bike because I literally look like a pea on a drum. As I mentioned, I have ridden the previous generation Hayabusa at a Suzuki launch day, 2018 I think that was. Actually excited to ride it in a real world setting, on the roads, because I haven't ridden the old style Busa, never mind this one, on the road. So we'll see how I get on, we'll see how practical it is. I'm going to be really honest, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to Billy Big Ball this. I am a small human, I'm not strong, and this is a beast. Now I know that you guys see that I seem to handle my GS 1200 alright, and that is definitely a big girl. But we'll see how I get on with this one. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Likes, comments, great, appreciate them. I have a Patreon, no pressure, but the link's in the description below. And yeah, until the next time guys, take care, and hopefully I'll see you on the road. Whew.
Yeah.